Mark, I was wondering, given all the double teams that you guys have seen just from different places on the floor and different ways, does seeing that for your group actually help you learn how to double on defense better? Seeing how other teams are doing it to you, does that give you guys a different perspective maybe on how to go about it if you've got to double a guy like Jokic tomorrow, for example?
Yeah, I think it's a perspective you could definitely take to it. What's comfortable, what's uncomfortable. I think it shows up a lot in practice, when we work on something like that, and it's kind of our offense versus our defense. We did that a lot in training camp this year, anticipating that Shea in particular would be doubled quite a bit this season. So, I think it can help a little bit, but I think our attacks have improved there. I think we've done a really nice job growing through the experiences, and we got really, really good looks out of the double teams last night. It's something we need to continue to water.
Yeah. How about on the other end of the floor, getting out of those, or being effective in the doubles? It's one thing to go over there, but another to actually make it disruptive, or to to put the other team in a situation that you want them to be in.
Yeah, I think the first thing is just like making sure that we're pressuring, whether it's a double team or whether it's us committing help. And I thought that was, going back and watching the game, something we left to be desired last night with Sacramento is we didn't put Fox or Sabonis in enough of a crowd and make them go to the perimeter with the ball. And obviously when they did, they made shots from a lot of spots, but I don't think we put them in that situation as much as we would have liked for the way that they attack. And so they made some shots on top of the fact that Fox and Sabonis had very, very efficient scoring nights. So that was the game pretty much, in my opinion.
Mark, I know we talk about, the evolution of Shea and the way he gets doubled and all the pictures he has to see and has seen. But what's the evolution like for the guys around him who have to deal with, Shea getting doubled and having to get off the ball? Just what's that look like?
Yeah, it's a 5-man attack, and you want to attack in such a way that it really makes teams choose their poison. And I thought last night we did that. I think if you watch us on film last night as an opponent, you can't be totally comfortable with the double teams of that volume, because we moved it out of there pretty well. We're able to generate efficient shots. And it's just a matter of learning how to play together and learning how we're going to get played. It's constant evolution. It's a team that does a great job of that, though.
Shea was obviously able to get to the free throw line a lot the other night as well. Just what did you see from how he was able to kind of, answer those attacks, and how they were sending so many bodies to him in those double teams?
Yeah, I thought he played with great, speed last night in a lot of different areas of the game. He was fast up the floor, which obviously it's harder to commit help to him when he's playing with that kind of pace. He found a couple rejects, where the screen was coming, they were getting ready to set a double, and he just went the other way. And then there were some plays where the ball kind of moved around and then found him, and before they could help or double, he was just like playing on the catch. And I thought that's how he got a lot of his cracks last night, is just how fast he was willing to play.
Is that the value of those early actions that you've talked so much about, him finding those early actions like much earlier before they can even set those doubles and making an advantage kind of early in those possessions?
Yeah, it's one of the underrated things about how he's grown as a player is, I think, if you go back and watch his first year or second year here, my first year as the head coach, there was a lot of those plays where the ball would find him and he would catch it, and he would start to size up his defender again. And as he's gotten better and better, if he does that, the defense is going to shrink at the very minimum, or they're going to double him. And he's kind of learned that he's had to evolve through that and play faster on the catch, and he's done that. And there's no chance he gets 40 last night with the double teams the way that they were doubling if he doesn't do that.
Harris had brought up the free throw line. So far this season, you guys have been right at the top of the league in terms of percentage. Is it too early to maybe talk about free throw shooting being a strength of the team? And if it's not, is that personnel based? Like, is that something you guys seek out in personnel acquisition? Is it just Shea's taking a high volume of them and he's really freaking good at it? Like, what do you have an assessment of the free throw shooting?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is if you look at the best free throw shooting teams, it's like the guys that's getting the foul the most shoots a really good percentage, and the worst free throw shooting teams are usually the guys that are getting the foul the most or shooting the lowest percentage. It's not a democratic process in free throws. So, but our top free throw drawers are our best free throw shooters. So That's got a lot to do with it. Now it's a matter of drawing more. You know, obviously we got to the line last night, but using our physicality on our drives and putting the referees in a position where they have to call something. I thought we did that very nicely last night, and need to continue to do that because obviously, you know, we're making enough of them that it can be a strength for us.
Mark, outside that Denver game to start the year, it feels like any of these losses is you know, within a few possessions, you guys are fully within control, probably down to the last minute. Just what does that say about this team? What does it do for this team?
Well, I mean, we want to play 48 every night, and even on the nights where, you know, we shot 30% from three or something like that last night, and, you know, it wasn't our best fastball defensively. You know, we definitely could have played better, but we want to give ourselves every chance to win, and when you do that enough, you're not going to win every time, but, you know, Cleveland on the road is a good example of that. Dallas on the road is a good example of that, where, you know, just by stacking good possessions late in games, you give yourself a chance and you're going to steal some of those. And the more you put yourself in that position, especially when you don't play well, the more you're going to find yourself, you know, winning a couple of those games. So, you know, good teams play well when they play bad, you know, and that's something that we've tried to do. I think that's something we did last year. We didn't get blown out very much. We played a lot of close games, and I think it speaks to the competitiveness of the guys.
There was a time when defenders would help really aggressively off of Lou. It doesn't seem like they're doing that. Is there something that he's done with his game or you all have done to stop that from happening?
I think, you know, his shooting percentages have gone up. I think most teams have a respect for his ability to have a flurry of threes, too. You know, like he's a guy, the Golden State game at home, the first one is a good example of that. It's like, you watch that game, you know, he can make 5 in a game, and it's like, that's unsettling, you know, when you're trying to like plug off him. And so I think it's a combination of that. He can get it going, and then he's shooting a really nice percentage because he's taken a really good diet of shots this season. And I was happy to see him get back on track with the makes last night because he's really done a nice job with his selection, and he had dipped a little bit going into the last couple games, and it was good to see him make a couple good ones last night. And those were big ones. Those kept us afloat.
How much is it helping that he's crashing, getting those second chance opportunities that are kind of helping kind of elevate his efficiency a little bit?
Yeah, huge. It's helping our team too, you know, and that's another, it goes back to, you're not going to, the most variant thing in the game is shooting, obviously. You're not going to shoot it great every night. We were, I think, 8 for 28 on our highest quality looks last night, and we got great shots on those 28 shots. And offensive rebounding, it was our best offensive rebounding percentage of the season last night. So one of the reasons we were able to kind of scrap and stay in the game is we got ourselves extra possessions on a night where shots didn't fall.
Mark, I imagine Chet has expected this since he was drafted, but so far this season, you know, I think of the shot he had to take in Golden State, the 3 free throws he had to hit, you know, last week. Just, it feels like he's been in a lot of high stakes positions. Just what has stood out to you about the way he's kind of embraced that?
Yeah, I mean, he leans into the competition. You know, no one's going to make every shot. He missed some good looks last night that I know he wanted back, but at the end of the day, like, if you're in enough of those situations, you're not going to make every one of them, but you've got to thrust yourself back into those situations. You know, like, winners are willing to fail, you know, and the mark of a loser is that you hide, not that you don't fail. And so he doesn't hide, and we have a lot of guys that don't hide. Like, they lean into it, they fully compete, they accept that failure is part of the process of competing. That's one of the great marks of a competitor, and he's definitely got that.
Yeah, how much, I'm curious, in your conversations with him, how much has he expressed that willingness to, you know, make mistakes, to go through that kind of stuff?
He expresses everything in our conversations. He's a very talkative person, so there's nothing we don't cover.